All right, we have spent basically all of February talking about unseasonably warm temperatures. But with that, some of us in our News 8 newsroom have noticed an increase in sniffly noses and a whole lot of sneezing. So we spoke with a local allergist and asked the question, does this early spring mean spring allergies will come earlier as well? We're joined now by allergist Dr. Mark Blazer. All right. I mean, even in our own newsroom, people have been sneezing up a storm over the last few weeks. People have been saying they noticed some budding on their trees. Is allergy season hitting already?
We're still a little bit ahead of the allergy season. So the part of the tree you're allergic to is the pollen, and the buds might be starting to prop up, and you see a little bit of that red hue against the sky. But they have to bud out and start looking a little fluffy to have the pollen part of the tree starting to do its thing. And that probably won't happen, even though it's been warm and the ground is warm and no snow on the ground, probably won't happen for another 3 to maybe even 4 weeks.
When does allergy season usually hit around this area?
So the trees are the first to come on, and it will be maybe the last week of March or the first week of April, depending on how the winter has been. And you can tell by seeing some of these little fluffier buds on the trees. So we'll start in early April, and then the trees finish pollinating by first week, maybe second week of May. And tree species by tree species, they all have a little bit of different timing. Then the grasses fold into the tree season the first week of May through mid late June. Then July is actually a fairly quiet month, maybe the first week of August, and then all the weeds at the end of the summer begin their pollination process, and that goes from early mid-August to mid-late September.
Are you noticing with these early, or I should say warmer winters that we've been having, are you noticing allergy season start a little earlier or has that stayed pretty consistent?
Well, I'd say the allergy season is consistent in that, it's still dormant. So even mold spores and things like that that count on warm soil finish, say, by the first week in November. So from roughly speaking, the 1st of November until the 1st of April tends to be pretty quiet from an outdoor allergy standpoint. So maybe the last week of March, you start seeing it. So the other thing is with kids in school and life being sort of back to normal after the COVID pandemic, there's just an onslaught of viral illness giving these same overlapping symptoms to many, many, many adults and children.
So that brings me to my last question. If someone is experiencing these symptoms, at what point do you go in to see an allergist versus maybe it's just a cold or maybe it's just the flu?
Yeah, it's pretty much when you're fed up and you don't want to put up with it anymore.
That's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, the symptoms are just annoying. And so some people, even with classic terrible seasonal symptoms, they'll know it's just 2, 3 weeks and they'll kind of gut it out. Some people, it's a little more persistent. A lot of people have tried all the over-the-counter medicines, which are great. They all formerly were prescription. They're all over the counter now, most of them. And so for the true allergy sufferers, your next step probably are allergy injections. And then the other thing is that you can have similar symptoms that aren't related to allergy. So if you want to um, you kind of put the notion of am I allergic or not to rest, being tested by someone capable of interpreting the tests is useful. So I mean, obviously allergists do that, but tests can be done by any doctor as long as they're interpreted properly.
Makes sense. Well, Dr. Blaser, thank you so much for your time today and thank you for joining us.
Oh, you bet. My pleasure.
Now, a study in the peer-reviewed journal Environmental Health Perspectives did find climate change will increase the number of people affected by seasonal allergies in the years to come.